On the 6th of June 1944, as part of Operation Overlord, 13,000 American paratroopers dropped on Normandy deep into German lines to capture bridges, knock out strong points and destroy artillery positions. These operations would prove invaluable to the men landing on the beaches of the Normandy coast. One of the best known small-scale actions was the attack on Brecourt Manor by Company E, 2nd Battalion, 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment of the 101st Airborne Division, led by First Lieutenant Dick Winters. Winters led his men in a textbook attack on the artillery positions of 10.5cm guns firing on Utah Beach. Not only did Easy Company destroy 4 guns, but they also managed to capture invaluable information of the artillery positions across the area. This game will use Chain of Command, a platoon-level skirmish game by the two Fat Lardies, as a platoon of US paratroops attempt to destroy a German 10.5cm artillery battery firing on the invasion force. This is based on the famous attack at Brecourt Manor, and the American paratroops have to destroy the guns or drive off the German defenders to win. The attacking force is a platoon of paratroopers made up of 2 sections, a mortar team and a bazooka team. They've also been augmented by another section and 2 more bazookas. The Germans are defending with a platoon of Osttruppen with 3 sections and a Panzerschreck. They have support from a Tiger I tank that is also in the area. Every game of Chain of Command begins with a patrol phase, where both sides attempt to outmaneuver their opponents to gain advantageous jumping off points. Here, the paratroopers in red are attempting to outflank the German positions. The Americans are hoping to get into a better position so they can take out those 105 guns a lot easier. With the jumping off points placed, it's now time to start the game, and Chain of Command is governed by the roll of command dice, which allow specific units to deploy and activate during your phase. The paratroopers begin their attack by deploying 2 sections, one behind the fence opposite the church and the second in the trees covering the road. This should allow for either one to cover movement with fire as they attack. However, the Germans are quick to react and they deploy a section on their right flank to guard the approach to the church, and they also bring on their Tiger. The paratroopers are lightly armed and can only tackle this menace with their bazookas, but they've yet to deploy them. Immediately, the Tiger opens fire with its machine guns and its 88mm gun. Fortunately for the paratroopers, the damage is light and their elite status means they are difficult to hit. Then an exchange of fire occurs between the German infantry and the paratroops, with the Germans losing more men and taking more shock. The first section of paratroopers adjust position to get out a line of fire from that Tiger and fire again at the Germans defending the church. The paratroopers deploy their 60mm mortar behind cover to allow them to bring fire down on the German defenders. The Germans by the church take even more fire. Seizing the opportunity to act under covering fire, the 2nd paratroop section charges across the road into the church and onto one of the German jumping off points. Capturing this will cause the Germans to suffer morale loss. The move also brings them into close assault range with the now pinned German section. Close combat in Chain of Command is bloody, and after 2 rounds of fighting, the German section is wiped out to a man. The paratroopers deployed their 3rd section to the rear of the woods in order to attempt to flank the German positions. The Tiger is still a huge threat, but the Americans are hoping that they can stay in cover to negate the effect and hopefully ambush it with some bazookas. In the next German phase, they deploy a 2nd section behind the walls of the church, covering any approach, and they also try to get their Tiger forward to deal with the American threat. Under the covering fire of the mortar, the Americans begin moving up on the 2 flanks, with the section in the woods taking up positions to fire on the new German section, whilst the rear section begins pushing forward on their left flank across the road. Meanwhile, the sergeant reduces shock on the section in the church and then prepares them for their next attack. In their new positions, the American section fires at the Germans, causing hits and shock, whilst the 2nd section moves to the fence line to further threaten the German right flank. With the German morale teetering on the brink, the paratrooper sergeant in the church grabs the initiative and orders his section to pile into the Germans holding the church wall. Furious fighting ensues, and the Germans hold on with a last-ditch attempt, but it is not enough, and the paratroopers destroy the section and kill the German senior leader in the process. The German morale collapses, and the paratroopers win the day as the Tiger begins to withdraw with no infantry support. The paratroopers silence their guns by spiking them with grenades, and the fire on the beaches is stopped. The Americans won the scenario by using the perfect mix of covering fire and movement to hold the defenders in place and then close assault them. The Tiger was a huge threat, but ultimately was a toothless cat as the paratroopers concentrated on breaking the German morale through the destruction of their infantry instead. Chain of Command is an excellent set of rules to allow you to play these kinds of granular action throughout the Second World War. Thank you very much for watching this quick strike video. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel for more Chain of Command battle reports and wargaming content.